Are you looking to become a professional wrestler? We'll train like a champion at the Arizona Wrestling Federation Academy. Learn everything you need to know to start your journey into professional wrestling. Enroll at ArizonaWrestlingFederation.com today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the AWF Insider podcast. I am Gabriel Anders, and I am with the owner of the Arizona Wrestling Federation, Jared. Jared, how are you doing today?
Why, I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So, ladies and gentlemen of the fan nation, get ready for the most absurd, potentially 4 to 14 minutes of AWF banter as I speak with my good friend, good longtime friend. Let's go old school on this one. The owner of the Arizona Wrestling Federation, Jared. Yeah. How many? Remember how when I used to say that? Like I used to give you an 8 or 9 like word title, and that was. And no, he just used to tell me like, you don't gotta do that anymore. What are you doing?
No, I still like being called Roadie the other day. That was the most fun title.
Oh yeah, that was
You
mentioned that when we were backstage. So yeah, what was the case there? What was that?
No, some old guy that just saw me, I guess, go back and forth like from the locker room to the announce table and all that. So he knew I was involved. And he's like, "Oh, like, do you wrestle?" I'm like, "No, that's not my job." And he's like, "Oh, you must be a roadie." And I'm like, "Yeah." And I just was like, "Yeah, something like that, I guess, Sure."
The dude was excited because he saw your size. Like, he's like, "Oh, look at this giant guy. He must be someone." And you're like, No, I don't do that. It's like, "Oh, yuck." Never mind. Like, dude was probably handing you a beer, wasn't he? He was like, and then you're like, no. It's like, oh, well, I'm gonna drink both of these. I'm gonna find a real talent.
Yeah. So, I was the roadie for the night. So
hey, there you go. See, and I thought by wearing my my announcing jacket, which I didn't actually need, because we were at shout out, by the way, to the Scottsdale Elks Lodge for having the AWF out. Thank you so much. It was a fun time. Yeah, I didn't end up needing my jacket because I was a one-man show behind the production booth, and until Chris Evans jumped in, and that was a fun time. But yeah, I thought they were gonna mistake me for the important one, but instead they just like I wasn't even like people didn't even see me. Like they assumed I was the help or something. They must have, like in Scottsdale, because I'd say you look like you fit in Scottsdale a little more than I do, probably.
yeah, probably right now. That's probably true.
Yeah, well, with my hair, at least I'm a little more kempt beard wise. I have quite the neck beard, but yeah. So this is what happens backstage at the AWF shows when Jared's not handling talent or I'm not losing or pulling out my hair. Dude, I pulled out a clump of hair accidentally, like Mankind style, Mick Foley style, when. Like before the matches started last night, and I was pretty worried. So I'm glad everything went well. Like I'm not more noticeably bald after last night's show, am I? That you can tell? Okay.
Not that I was paying attention, but sure, no.
Okay. Well, that's why I say noticeably, because I doubt you're observing my cranium for any reason. But if I was missing half my head of hair, you'd probably know. Well, because you're a foot taller than me, or 2 feet or something. So. But on the topic of being tall, so yeah, Jared owns the AWF, and he's one of the, if not the main, cause for the cause. Makes it sound bad, doesn't it? Like he's the cause for what we see here in the ring, and he's the reason. He's what's caused us to feel and see in what we do. But yeah, one of the biggest contributors to Arizona wrestling in the last. How long have we been doing? 10 years?
I'm going to say billion years, but yeah.
Billion, 10. Not what it feels like. not what it feels like to us, but what it actually is. Yeah, tell us about yourself in wrestling. Like, what do you do in the AWF? Where you're the owner. Every now and then you pop in and say, you two have to fight now, and you did that great promo where I couldn't get the mics running, where you had to announce the high stakes 4-way. Good job for being a trooper in a lot of those scenarios and just going, what's it called? Like Shakespearean style, where you have to kind of Yell.
Shakespearean. You mean just shout?
Just shout.
Shout the promo.
I was trying to church it up to hide our obvious technical miscues in production, but yeah, just shout. But what do you do here for the fan nation, for the curious fan listening to us on Spotify right now? What would you say you do here?
Oh man, just roll around in my Scrooge McDuck room, just I convert all that rich show money, that wrestling makes, put it in a giant room after I convert it into like pennies, and then I go swimming.
He means gold doubloons. That's rich person talk for gold doubloons. He had air quotes. Pennies. He really means golden $500 pieces. So go on.
Yeah, that's about it. Actually, so the trick is you have to add a little water because otherwise you break your neck when you dive in.
Yes, because at that point it's solid metal. So when you say a little water, you have to create some sort of pool with it, right? This is the most relevant on-course wrestling interview we've ever had. By the way, if you don't know, Jared and I go way back, and this is about when when the locker room's not around or the fans have gone home. If you see us off in the distance having a conversation and you think we're talking about booking or finances or business or anything going on like that, or the night's production or anything, no, this is what's happening. Let it be known. You want the inside stuff. This is AWF. Why am I hitting that? This is the inside stuff right here. So tell us more about this big vat of golden watery doubloons that you swim in on a daily basis.
Watery doubloons. No, that's it. I didn't really have anything.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. That's the owner of the AWF. Swimming in his doubloons. So, I think that's a wrap for this segment. So when we come back, we'll talk some more real wrestling stuff. So we had to get our proverbial sillies out. So after this break, we'll be right back. This is the AWF Insider podcast, and I'm here with the
I'm about to be yelled at.
Crazy rich owner AWF, who's about to be yelled at. I suspect by the FBI. We'll be right back. I'm Gabriel Anders. Did you know that you can bring the action of the Arizona Wrestling Federation to your fundraiser, festival, birthday party, or private event? Wrestlers like Chubby Depp, Viva Van, Brittany Brooks, Paradox, Alric Ryder, that's right, the stars of the Arizona Wrestling Federation, wherever you want them. For more information, contact us at ArizonaWrestlingFederation.com or any of our social media platforms. Wrestlers subject to availability, some blackout dates apply. Contact us for details. Are you looking to become a professional wrestler? We'll train like a champion at the Arizona Wrestling Federation Academy. Learn everything you need to know to start your journey into professional wrestling. Enroll at ArizonaWrestlingFederation.com today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here on AWF Insider, and I am here with the richest man in all of Arizona wrestling and the Arizona Wrestling Federation, the owner. In his palace of pennies, his Dubai of doubloons, his castle. What's a kuh sound that means money?
What's the
his castle of cash.
For a second, I thought you were going with the accent. You sounded just like the who's the other podcast guy, the big guy.
Jim Cornette.
No, the guy who talks to him.
Oh, Brian Lass. Hey, that was very Brian Lass of me.
No, I'm the
Conrad Thompson.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, shout out Conrad Thompson. We're friends. We Twittered once, interacted on the online. So yeah, no, I did remind myself a lot of my best friend Conrad Thompson.
Yeah, when you're doing the little weird the Bayard the Blooms, it kind of sounded like you're slipping into some weird voice.
Oh, no, that's just one. It's allergy season, so I hate when you ask me to announce during allergy season because my sinuses
are. All of a sudden you sound like Chris Evans.
Oh, did I?
No, I made it. That's you ruined the joke.
Oh, whoosh, right over my head. What was the joke? For those curious at home, what was the joke? I don't get it.
No, it's no fun to explain it. Just move on.
Okay. Hey, you know, and just like in wrestling, to all you youngsters out there, if if you botch a spot, you can just move on. It's okay to just move on. So that's what we're gonna do here. So
you're rich enough to figure out how to edit our podcast, but nope.
No. Who would do that? Why would you one take? We're like the Chili Peppers. We are like the Red Hot Chili Peppers of professional wrestling, and that's the AWF.
All right. So what is this supposed to be about?
So we're interviewing. Well, I tried to give you the proper introduction and your Castle of Cash and all the. See, now that's all gone to. This is like oh man, this is like an AWF show. This is
an AWF.
Oh man, so what a train wreck. Okay, so we're here interviewing. You get to hear the real side, what's going on backstage, behind the scenes, in the locker room. AWF Insider with Jared, the owner of the AWF. So I had like all these questions that I was here to ask you, and after that last little banter that we had here, like I think I remember some of it. So just like moving on from a bad corny joke, as you and I are oft known to do, usually when speaking with each other, what would you say the importance of? I'm probably sure we could have had this in podcast land, but what would you see the importance of training in the AWF is? Hey, how did the training school get started? Let's jump there. Probably, like, was your goal for us to have a training school in mind? Like, how did all of that come into flourish? I'm just gonna jump, no segue. This is like Andy jumping off a top rope in our first show and me just cutting his music accidentally. You know, that was neat. That was not me. I would have been second show, but yeah, we're just jumping right into it. How did the school get started? The AWF Academy. Tell me about that. Or else.
Yeah, and that was always a goal since the start of the company, was to have our own internal location and a development where we could train up and coming wrestlers. So that way there's both a pool of talent for our shows and to provide, development for them. So it makes sense as a business. It makes sense. We're all about the opportunities. So that definitely provides the opportunities, and to make sure that, we're able to have a product in the ring that is good as opposed to bad, which you would get if they were untrained people in the ring, certainly. So yeah, obviously just having talent that needs to meet both our expectations and fans' expectations. The school's a vital role in that, to make sure there's that level of quality.
So how did it think back? Because I think I remember the night, and I think it was UI and a third party just kind of hanging out. I believe there was it was a ring that was stored outside, and I recall maybe covering it for a monsoon. I don't know if it was a monsoon or a frost or something, but do you recall the circumstances or the night that we kind of that it was decided that we were opening up the AWF Academy? Do you recall that night by chance?
Yeah, because we from the beginning we always had kind of more of an informal training structure, and then between shows, we were just storing the ring at my property, and then anyone who knows anything about Arizona and dealing with the weather, and you got the monsoons in the summer and stuff, so that's definitely not an ideal setup. So, yeah, I do recall. And then we had the opportunity to get our own building at the time and then create a more structured, formal environment for the school. So I think we just said, hey, this makes sense. We had the time and resources to do it. So
what do you outside? I don't know if that's that's your one of many the AWF Zoo that you keep outside of your palace, the guard animals that you have.
The guard animals.
Outside of your lone guard animal that you had at the prior palace that you had, What do you remember from those old pre AWF Academy kind of days? Like, do you remember any stories or any instances that kind of stick out to you that are appropriate for Spotify Air?
Not appropriate for Spotify Air, but that's the exclusive pass. This is just the exclusive. So yeah.
Okay. So once we get that subscription up, we'll get him back on, folks, and you'll get to hear some nitty gritty AWF
We don't
tales.
talk about the olden days.
We can't remember the olden days. This is all code for.
That's more the code. Like, don't put me on the spot, you jackass. Like, I don't remember.
By the way, those were a long time ago, so one can't be. I wasn't really around during those days. I feel like I'd pop in every now and then, but I didn't really. Was I there a lot? Maybe I was.
I'm more you dummy.
Was I around back then? I remember like the academy days, but like pre-academy, was I? Okay. Well, I'm definitely not around now, and that's for true. Yeah, and so now that we have the AWF Academy, we've moved buildings. Do you have a preference? Do you like one building or the other, the old one in Glendale or the new one that's kind of closer to downtown?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously the old building was a little bit bigger, but I think the new one, location-wise, I like a lot better in terms of in terms of just access and getting there. I think for most of the students, it's a lot easier. So, it's a little bit more kind of tucked away in the complex, which I like. So, yeah, I'd say arguably the new one, but I mean, it's all about the same. So.
Right on. And okay, and just for those who don't know, where is this new one located? Like if they want to check it out or enroll.
To enroll at the AWF Academy, you go to
and you've heard me say that so much, yeah.
Go to the
enroll
website,
today at the Arizona Wrestling Federation.
Yeah, it's on. So you want the address or just it's on 31st and Thomas. It's 3104 West Thomas. Unit 1001. But to seriously to check out the school, you got to make sure you schedule ahead of time and all that. So there is a little bit of a process. So we don't generally do drop-ins, but we schedule so that way we actually make sure we have all the fun paperwork handy, and we have a whole onboarding process and all of that, of course. So.
Yep. So remember to contact the Arizona Wrestling Federation before dropping in. No looky-loos. We got to make sure we get everything just right for you when you pop in. And yeah, anyone who is like, say there is somebody out there, they've jumped on, they've done their, the right way of going on and contacting and setting up scheduling an appointment to get enrolled. What would you tell any of those little, bright-eyed, shiny-eyed, eager folks who are looking to get started and get on their way to enrolling in the AWF, like who are en route? What advice would you give them?
To sign up. I mean, that's as silly as that sounds. I think with a lot of students, it's all a big mental game. For people that make it and continue to make it. And it's something where if you wait till you think you're going to be ready, you're going to be waiting forever. You're never actually going to do it. So the way our school, what we offer is, the opportunity, and it sounds a little sales pitchy right now, but it's, hey, you do a class. We're only going to charge you $25 for the class, and it goes towards your enrollment. But it gives you the opportunity to actually check it out and make sure it's a good fit. So you get to learn the basics. So they run you through the kind of introduction area, class, and you're going to learn the basics and kind of get a feel if it's a good fit. And if it's not for you, that's okay. Hopefully, it is. And if that's your dream and you want to do that, we hope that does work out. But that's the biggest thing, so assuming you're, of age, so 18, if you're a little bit under, you got to have the parent permission, and we got the waivers. You got to be in good physical health, so that, that you have no health ailments that would be impacted by wrestling. But assuming you meet those criteria, the number one thing, honestly, is to actually do it and to get the feel for it. And then we kind of take it from there. So I think that's honestly the number one thing.
take the leap. Take the leap.
Just take the leap. Yeah, it really is. And it's a really low, I was about to say low risk financially. and even in the ring, right? We're going to do everything, you're going to learn how to be safe. And that's the big part of the intro and everything. So, but that's the biggest thing, is to take the leap. And it's a very low cost entry into it. I think we have in the, in terms of our wrestling school, very fair, very low pricing, honestly. We want to make sure that, it's about your development and everything for the student's perspective. So, yeah, it's about taking the leap, and those who stick with it, and you have to stick with it, but they are given those opportunities and stuff. So, yeah, there's a lot of, you kind of will get out what you put in is the big thing, but yeah, it's just taking the leap and doing it. So,
yeah, and this sounds like a good time to ask you, and this is 100% putting you on the spot because I did not run this by you before. Are we in a place right now to announce anything in regards to May the 13th? Just kind of off of opportunity and what you were speaking about right now. So outside of what's been published, yeah.
Yeah. So we are working on a project, and a lot of that will be, it has to do with an event. It has to deal with students from the school getting opportunities, other kind of, both younger talent and other talent, some opportunities, all still within our Arizona Wrestling Federation brand, but it's going to be something a little different. So probably not anything too formalized of an announcement quite yet, but that's kind of a little teaser. We got something fun coming up on May 13th. So,
all right. And for now, tickets are available to that on the website, ArizonaWrestlingFederation.com. I tried, guys. I tried to get you more information. Doesn't look like
what you see now is going to be souped up. So it's going to be even better than what you think you're even buying tickets for. As strange as that sounds, and as kind of vague as that sounds, but what you see, and if you're excited for just that, you're going to be even more excited with the final presentation of everything. So,
well, there you go. And on that note, we're going to take a quick break. So hang tight. We just have a couple of ads to roll. And on the other side, I am Gabriel Anders. I'm here with the owner of the AWF, Jared, and we will be right back here on the AWF Insider podcast. We'll be right back. Did you know that you can bring the action of the Arizona Wrestling Federation to your fundraiser, festival, birthday party, or private event? Wrestlers like Chubby Depp, Viva Van, Brittany Brooks, Paradox, Alric Reiner, that's right, the stars of the Arizona Wrestling Federation, wherever you want them. For more information, contact us at ArizonaWrestlingFederation.com or any of our social media platforms. Wrestlers subject to availability, some blackout dates apply. Contact us for details. Are you looking to become a professional wrestler? We'll train like a champion at the Arizona Wrestling Federation Academy. Learn everything you need to know to start your journey into professional wrestling. Enroll at ArizonaWrestlingFederation.com today. Okay.
Do the thing.
Okay, let's do this. All right. Welcome back to the Arizona Wrestling Federation Insider podcast. I have to remember, why am I like this? I have to remember what we're doing here. Okay, I'm with the AWF owner, Jared, who has something that he wants to say about what he thinks and I thought and was doing. What were you just telling me off air? What is it that you had that you're saving for later? Now is later. What do you got? This is why we started rolling, folks, because the owner of the Arizona Wrestling Federation is having conniptions right now at the moment. He is losing it. He is drowning in his pool of doubloons out of laughter, hysterical laughter. I think he's still with us. Are you still there?
Yeah. Yes.
He's gone. I'm the real owner now. Yes. All will bow to me.
It wasn't even that funny.
I'm the new Unleashed champion. Take that, Ricky Reyes. I know you're listening. Watson, I'm coming for you.
At the event yesterday, when Chris was announcing, I just thought you were trying to do a bad Vince impersonation.
Oh, so I touched on it a little bit earlier. We had some fun at the Elks Lodge, at the old Elks Lodge, our first time appearing at the Elks Lodge. And my media booth was hijacked by the one, the only Chris Evans, who proceeded to ring announce what I thought was just him messing around and going to do like the first match back from intermission. Turned out to be all the way up until he jumped in a battle, basically like until he decided to get back into the ring. Like he hijacked my my announcing duties.
Yeah.
And
I just like the really cheesy, like over exaggerated stuff. Like it was good stuff. So
well, and probably in contrast to me, it was just like, and Chubby Depp's coming out.
Well, that's why I'm like, because I was backstage and I'm like, what the, is he doing? I'm like, is he trying to do like a Vince thing? And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that's not.
Yeah, so what tipped you off? Like, did you know who it was? Or did, like, okay, so wait a minute. Did you, one, know it was Chris? Like, did you just take survey of the locker room and realize he wasn't there? Or two, did you just hear a different voice, realize what's Gabe doing? I heard a different
voice and I thought you were screwing around. And then I saw him. I think you asked me to get you a drink or something. And then I saw him there and I'm like, oh, okay, he's clearly the one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I thought you were just backstage, came to the conclusion that I was not announcing. There was somebody else's voice and went, whatever. It's a party.
Essentially the reaction was the same. I didn't.
Okay. Like no point. Like, did you feel an urge to go like, who's ring announcing out there? You're just like, whatever. I'm going to go play pool. They had a pool table set up back there. Like,
No. That I was trying to get our production people going. They were too busy freaking around with the pool table. I tell the guy, "Oh, get the cameras ready," and then he proceeds to like play pool. I'm like, man, that
was a hot attraction. I think we're gonna start getting feedback from the talent that we need a pool table at future shows. Because
I know, like
that was our production staff, our ring crew. Were the boys back there playing with the pool table? I assume so, right?
I think they were playing. Yeah, they were playing. Some pool. I think some people were messing around with the foosball, but pool was a big one.
Oh yeah, I did see I don't know if it surfaced online, but a rather epic, historic photo of Paradox facing Aguila, not only in the ring, but their more epic encounter at the foosball table. That was, I don't know, if you saw that today, but that was quite, it stirred up a lot of emotion.
I saw the behind the scenes of it. So yeah.
You were there. Were you taking the picture?
I did not take the picture, but I was in the area and went, these guys are dorks. And then I left.
Sounds about right. By the way, that's his reaction whenever I do anything, including ask him to come onto this podcast. Was all right.
All right. So what was the point of this? Were you going to talk about some shows, or
we're just we're introducing the people to the real us. So this will this should be behind $1 million paywall.
If we had stock, it would be tanking so hard right now.
Oh, we would. NASDAQ, Dow Jones just tanked. Next recession, that's what we'd be starting. Thank goodness we're private. So yeah. So okay. So on from one event and your reaction to another event. How was how was your experience at the Reckoning? Thank you, by the way. Shout out to the Taproom 120 in Gilbert for being more than hospitable guests and allowing us to run there with some fantastic brews. I can't remember what I had, but I know everything was great. What was your experience at the Reckoning in Gilbert, the big cage match show?
Yeah, it was. I believe we delivered what we set out to deliver, and that was an all cage match show. So something that I haven't really seen at this level, at least that I recall anywhere. So yeah, it was definitely something new, something different. A lot of people I think enjoyed it. It And I think for me, watching the event back, every match still felt different despite it all taking place in a cage. And I think that was one of the coolest things where, everything still felt different. It felt fun. There were some shocking events that occurred at the end with the, what's leading into Ascension and everything. So, I think it had a little bit of everything. Some good beer that the venue had. So good times all around.
So will the AWF should potentially be back? Is there anything official inked or agreed upon? Or
I don't.
I know there were talks.
There are talks about potentially in October, so nothing finalized yet that we can quite announce. But I think there's definitely talks. So the plan is for us to return in October with a big show, and we will be announcing those details shortly, probably within the next month or two. I think we'll have that all ironed out specifically. So
very cool. Speaking of our, so we have Ascension this upcoming Saturday in a few days. So we have the Wildcard Rumble back at almost what's becoming the OG, as the kids say, of our venues, the Phoenix Beer Co. And that's May 27th. Tickets for all these available on the website, of course, ArizonaWrestlingFederation.com. And in June, how final is June looking?
June's looking pretty final. Should be the 24th of June. We'll probably announce the venue this week. It's all pretty much done, but we'll get the final confirmations and stuff. But it'll be June 24th. It'll be in Phoenix for All American Grand Slam. And we should have some special guests on the show. Again, nothing I can quite announce yet, but it's going to be a big one. So that'll be one that people will not want to miss. So.
Very good. Well, mark your calendars, follow the Twitter, the Facebook, Instagram, whatever your channel of choice is.
Yeah, I imagine in the next week or so we'll have tickets live for that one.
Okay. Definitely watch out for that. So big news to come for June. And then July, of course, those tickets are up. If you are in the Tucson area, hearing the sound of our voice, or anywhere surrounding all the Vales or the 3 Points.
Austin Cole, one half of the tag team champions, guaranteed me a sellout for that show.
Austin Cole did. Okay. Hey, Austin, buddy. Me and you, we got some work to do. So I think that's not a, I think that might be a, I'm with him. I'm going to guarantee I'm going to hop on the Cole bandwagon right here. I'm going to side with the cowboy on this one. Jared, I'm going to go out here with you and let's guarantee a sellout. And I think there's a whole crew. So if you're in Tucson, please come to our show or Jared's going to fire all of us. Please help us sell out. So that is going to be at the House of Bards, which is a really cool venue. I can't wait until we get there. It's a cool, neat setup. You have not seen it yet. You've not been out that way, right?
I have not been to that venue, no.
Yeah, so I'm excited. It's going to be a good time there. That's going to be a very, very fun experience getting back into the Tucson market. We have not been there since 2019. Yeah, so very cool. So
and keep in mind, fans, you go to that show, there's a good chance we can come back way sooner than 4 years.
That is true. So help us snug up. You heard it from the owner himself. Help us snug up the time frame cycle. So as long as there's no pandemics.
There were some other extenuating circumstances.
Yeah, and you buy tickets. Otherwise, if you don't buy tickets, it might be 8 years. So
or 80,
or 80, one of the two, whatever comes first. So Summer Explosion.
I'm sure we'll be back there. So
many times over. So even if I'm sure this one will sell out. So Austin Cole should be back with us too. So, so as we are getting to Cole, love you, bud. As we were getting to Ascension, speaking of, so okay, let's start there with the Cowboys, Grit and Grace. Signed on, defending their tag belts, right? That's officially official. It's Facebook official. We've seen it online.
Official, so we have not declared their opponents. They definitely will have opponents. And there's going to be a little surprise with that match, so just stay tuned for that one. But yeah, they'll be defending their tag team championships this week, and then all I can say is it's going to be a fight. That'll be a good one.
Yep, and then we have some newer AWF blood cutting their teeth with Dolan Shaw and Sincere Mac. Any comments on that one, or what we should expect to see with these guys?
Yeah, I mean, if you saw the Reckoning, they were competing as part of that four-way match, and as a pretty action packed. These guys kind of have a history with each other, so yeah, I expect it to be pretty good in terms of that. So definitely unique for our crowd. They're both kind of new in terms of within our company and stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they can deliver.
Very cool. Blue chippers, so definitely ones to watch, rising stars in the making. And so, okay, let's see where we at. Unleash Championship match on the line. Where are my notes?
Yes. yes.
Okay. So Ricky Reyes is defending against Moxie Strokes.
Yeah, Moxie Strokes. Yeah, that actually should be really fun. That's a wild card. I don't have a good prediction on that one, I'll say, between the two. So both have kind of that high tempo, that quick, that kind of quick pace. Moxie Strokes has been on a little bit of a hot streak, as has Ricky Reyes. So yeah, it'll be interesting.
Okay, so when we're familiar with Ricky Reyes, as we've seen him the last year or two, part of the Fat and the Furious, one of Chubby Dup's friends, his best friend, I guess. So don't say that S word around him. So we have we're pretty familiar with Turbo Time, and we know all that. What can you tell? Because I know you're one of the ones in the company who are very high on Moxie Strokes and have been. You're kind of on the leading the forefront on this youngster Moxie Strokes. What can you kind of tell us about Moxie and what you've seen just leading up to their debut at Triumph and what you've seen?
So I mean, it's all about the wins and stuff. So Moxie Strokes is, of course, one of the newer, competitors. Just debuted this past January, and pretty much since Triumph in February has been on an undefeated streak. So took out Verdugo, took out Brittany Brooks. We just had that private event that also came up with the victory. So that's what it's all about. You win matches, you get opportunity, number one contender for the Unleashed. So, yeah, you keep winning matches, you get those title shots. So, this might be one of the quickest, title matches that someone has kind of earned from their debut. I mean, I'd have to go and look at the records, but it's got to be up there. So, yeah, this is a match that's kind of going to be one of the main ones to watch, I think.
Right on. So, okay, now moving over to the state championship. Paradox, the current champion, defending against Damian Drake. What should we expect to see in this one?
A bunch of crazy shit. So, should be good.
I would imagine so. I mean, you have a psychopath in a mask on one side and Damian Drake, who's crazy in his own right. So
yeah, they definitely both throw caution to the wind, so to speak. So they go all out. So Paradox, certainly since winning the state title at the end of 2022, been kicking butt. Damian Drake, very, very talented. Both, are kind of known for their kind of aerial offense and kind of that sort of style. So yeah, this should be the kind of crowd pleaser match of the night for sure. So that'll be a fun one too.
Something to look forward to, definitely. I'm counting my fingers and toes here. Have I left anything out before the heavyweight? Or did we touch on everything? We have a couple up here, like Reiner will be there, Colt will be there.
Yeah, we know that Brooks has issued a challenge to Chris Evans.
That's right.
We are expecting a response one way or the other, I believe, this week. So if the match does happen, that'll be definitely interesting. I'm very curious to see how that goes. But yeah, we got to kind of wait and see. So I'm expecting the response from Chris Evans sometime this week. So we'll check that, see what becomes of that. So
Okay, and with AWF officials and yourself included, obviously, right? This is something that is being allowed to be sanctioned regardless of the intergender nature, because Brittany's issued the challenge. If Chris Evans does accept, this is a match that has the green light and will be in the ring on Saturday then, right?
that I can answer would be a yes. So if both parties accept and they're good to go, AWF officials are good to go, including myself. So if Chris Evans accepts the match will be on.
Well, there you go. That says it all right there. So, okay. So then I think we've hit everything. Now, the big one. Now, the doozy. Now, the one everybody's talking about leading into Saturday. Watson, now two-time AWF heavyweight champion. Chubby Depp, looking to reclaim his championship. Let's start off before even going into the match. You alluded to it. You kind of nudged towards it earlier. The way that Watson, the way that he acquired the heavyweight championship at the Reckoning from being in those owners meeting or, those officials meetings and being, you're with your position. What is your take? What was your response with the way that all went down?
Yeah. So I think it's difficult when you have someone as popular and as you can tell, my dog is very upset by what had happened.
Obviously,
here.
Yeah, we all are. We all are.
Kirby is certainly a Chubby Dip fan. So
again, as we all are.
So I think anytime you have a championship, when you have someone manipulate themselves into a situation where you win the championship, particularly with such a fan favorite as Chubby Depp, that's a tough situation. So Watson definitely took advantage of the situation. He had Ricky Reyes kind of trapped in a cage and essentially goaded Chubby Depp into defending his belt. As rough as that situation is, the reason that decision stood and was allowed is because ultimately there was a challenge issued and challenge accepted, and a match took place with the referee in the ring. That's kind of the bottom line on that. So, was it the most honorable way of winning a championship? Probably not. Was it a valid? I'd say so. It's as rough as that is, and a way of losing. It was still a legitimate match with that. So now we immediately, though, agreed that Chubby's getting the rematch, of course. So that's the main event of Ascension. So he's going to get the opportunity. It's going to be a fair fight. He's not going to have to go through, because Chubby Depp went through a 30-minute war with Chris Evans seconds before having to face off against Watson. Now it's an even playing field. So be interesting on this one, where you have a Chubby Depp that should be at 100% versus 100% Watson. It's been Chubby Mania, but you're also talking about a two-time champ and Grand Slam champion in Watson. I mean, that's going to be a war, is all I can say. So.
I think we're all expecting that for sure. And ladies and gentlemen, you heard that from the man who's inside those AWF officials meetings that we read about and see about on social media. Excuse me. Is there any concern by AWF officials right now about either the involvement of either Ricky Reyes or any of the faction members of Lights Camera Faction going into Saturday?
No, not.
Are there any precautions being taken in regards to that?
No. So Ricky Reyes, of course, he's got he's got to be focused on his Unleashed Championship match. Is all I can say about that. Because if he overlooks Moxie's strokes, he's in some trouble. So he can't be thinking about. I know he's friends with Chubby Depp and all that, but he's got to be focused and thinking about his match there. The other members of the faction were actually not invited to this particular event. They're, of course, still part of the roster and everything, but we wanted the focus to be one-on-one, Chubby Depp versus Watson, and that's the expectation going into this show. So.
Okay. Do you and are there any stipulations for this match, or no? I believe this is just a.
No, we wanted to just take away all of the extra whatever. It's the big championship match, and it's for the title. So it's going to be under a normal kind of singles match rules. And we wanted just an even level playing field for this title match. So.
Do you have a favorite going into it? Bettors want to know. Vegas wants to know.
A favorite to win, or just
a favorite to win going into Saturday from the official's office?
Man.
They're two renowned competitors.
Yeah.
To accomplish both men who accomplished way quicker than most. Yeah.
Like Chubby Depp was on such a streak and taking out everybody and in these pretty long grueling matches and usually finds a way to win. Watson, though, they have a history in the tag matches. He's actually had, now it's in tag team matches and other guys involved, so, but they've kind of had Chubby's number. And I think Watson, him being a Grand Slam champion, anytime you're a new champion, you're going to want to defend that. I might actually lean toward Watson if I'm put on the spot. If I got to choose the whole champion's advantage, the whole, anytime you lose the title, sometimes that does chip away at that momentum. So yeah, I know, like, I think all the fans want Chubby Depp, to win, and he's definitely
safe to say.
Yeah, I think he's going to be the heavy fan favorite, and that's not to say Chubby Depp can't win, but he absolutely can, and very might will. But man, I think when you're talking about the whole Grand Slam Watson thing, I think there's something real there. So I might lean toward Watson, but we're talking like 51 versus 49%, if that makes sense. So we're talking like razor thin edge to him. So
down the middle going into Saturday.
Right.
Yeah. Well, appreciate that. Your honest opinion, and folks, it's 50-50. I think there's one way we're going to find out, right? By watching this Saturday. Anything else you want the fans to know going into Saturday, going into the Ascension at Simple Machine Brewing Company?
Yeah, and it'll be a good time at Simple Machine Brewing Company. I think, the best thing, right, fans could do for this one is buy tickets fast. Is all I'll say on that, because they're really going, and
seating is extremely limited for this one.
It is. Yeah, it's going to be a bit more limited. So
that's not a marketing ploy. This is a smaller building, guys and gals.
Yeah. It's not super. Yeah. It's not super small, but it's a little bit smaller than some of the other spots. So you'll want to make sure that you you don't need to arrive super early, but you can arrive early. They got a cool bar and stuff, so there'll be refreshments and drinks and all that fun stuff, of course. But you'll want to buy tickets very fast, because I have a feeling there's probably not going to be tickets at the door. Now there might be, but I'd say buy online, buy the pre-sale if you want to secure your spot for that one. So.
And just so that you know, and I don't know if I'm sure this report will make it to you within that, we're very close to, we're very, very close. A little birdie told me in the sales department to being sold out. So fast. Act very
so by
fast.
the time this is edited and put out, you might be too late anyway. But if not, make sure you snag those tickets.
Still check anyway, and if not, we got Rumble tickets for you too.
Yeah, we got plenty of big, a lot of big events coming up and stuff, and there'll be even more added to the calendar. It's going to be a huge year for us this year. So,
all right, well, that's going to about do it for us. Jared, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it.
yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, most definitely. Obligatory. See, you make fun of me and I can't say it now. Obligatory. And there goes the joke. All right, so we're nice to each other in front of people because we have to be. But thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. Thanks for your insight. And we'll have you at some point before the Rumble, talking about the Rumble and Rumble stuff, if that works for you. If you can fit it in the schedule.
For this podcast, right?
Yeah, just run it by payroll and look at the org chart and see who they roll up to. So.
All right. Fair enough.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening. I appreciate it. This is the AWF Insider Podcast. We'll see you next week. I'm Gabriel Anders. He's well, you're not my. I guess kind of you're my co-host, but all right. That's Jared, guys. Have a good one.
All right.
Good night. Yeah.
Did you know that you can bring the action of the Arizona Wrestling Federation to your fundraiser, festival, birthday party, or private event? Wrestlers like Chubby Depp, Viva Van, Brittany Brooks, Paradox, Alric Reiner, that's right, the stars of the Arizona Wrestling Federation, wherever you want them. For more information, contact us at ArizonaWrestlingFederation.com or any of our social media platforms. Wrestlers subject to availability, some blackout dates apply. Contact us for details. Are you looking to become a professional wrestler? We'll train like a champion at the Arizona Wrestling Federation Academy. Learn everything you need to know to start your journey into professional wrestling. Enroll at ArizonaWrestlingFederation.com today.